Greetings, friends and love warriors. Are you going through one of life's challenges and transitions? They are an inevitable part of life. Are you going through a breakup, a job loss? Are you looking to embark on greater fulfillment in your life? Perhaps you're looking for your purpose. Well, I created a 3-part video series with each of you in mind because people write to me often and they speak about feeling lost. They speak about struggling with divorce, separation, or a big breakup. Or they speak about losing a job that they loved or wanting to find a job that they love. So this video series includes very powerful tools and strategies to help you no matter where you are in your life. Even if you are loving your life and you just want to create greater love and greater grace, why not? These tips will help you. We don't have to suffer through all of life's transitions and challenges, right? Many of the things that we go through make us better, but here are some of the tools that can help us navigate our way through some of life's challenges with greater grace, greater ease, and greater self-love. I hope that you find this video series helpful for you, and if so, that you'll share them with anyone who might need it. Thank you so much for watching. Enjoy. Hello, welcome to part 2 of how to move through life's challenges and transitions with greater grace and self-love. I am Angela Holton, international coach and speaker. So this is part 2. In part 1 video, we spoke about forgiveness. We spoke about accepting the past. We talked about forgiveness and why it's important. Right? Forgiveness is self-healing. Forgiveness allows self-empowerment, and forgiveness allows self-liberation. And when we're truly invested in ourselves, when we truly want to create and transform new lives, then we're willing to love ourselves enough to forgive our past. We each deserve a life of abundance, of love, of joy, and inner fulfillment. And none of those things can happen until we can forgive ourselves and let go of our past. Again, we spoke about reframing our choices, things that we perceive as mistakes, things that have happened to us. Reframe them and see what's positive in them. See what you've learned and the value that you've gained from your negative experiences. So today's video, we're going to talk about releasing judgment and criticism, right? Judgment, that little pesky voice, that inner villain that tells us that we're not good enough, that we can't change, that we're too old, we're too fat, we're too skinny, no one's gonna want me, I don't have any gifts or talents, I'll never discover my purpose, it's too late, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough money, I'll never have enough money, right? Do any of those sound like you? How many of those voices sound like you? Right? We all have this inner villain, this voice that tells us that we're not good enough, and it sabotages our desires. It gives us this false perception of what we're really experiencing. So part of the reason that we struggle through transition and challenges is because we're listening to negative thoughts. It's the voices that we're telling ourselves, right? And our lives flow in the direction of our most dominant thoughts. All right, hear that again. Our lives flow in the direction of our most dominant thoughts. So whatever you're thinking about, you're creating, right? Where attention goes, energy grows. So whatever you're giving your attention to, you're feeding it more and more energy. So if you're criticizing yourself and beating yourself up and saying all these negative limiting belief systems, you're recreating that experience over and over and over again in your life. Right? Doesn't mean that that voice isn't going to be there. It's challenging. It's a lot of work to silence our inner critic, but it takes mindfulness, it takes intention, and the willingness to just do it, right? When you hear the voices in your head, what are they saying, right? I would love for you to take a moment now, pull out your journal while I'm speaking, or you can pause the video, and I want you to write down, what are all the negative voices that you're telling yourself? What are all those little nasty little things that your inner villain is telling you about yourself? Right? And remember that those are just thoughts, and we have the ability to control our thoughts. And what I want to help you today is control your thoughts so that you're thinking more positive thoughts. You're thinking the things that you want and the things that you want to manifest, the transitions that you want to go through. How do you want to go through these transitions and transformations and life experiences? Right? So pay attention to the thoughts that you're keeping, and let's write them down right now. Write down the negative voices. Write down what your inner villain is telling you right now today about yourself and about your circumstances. Write them down. And don't judge your thoughts. Don't judge their feelings. Just write them down, right? Self-awareness is the process through self-transformation. We have to be aware in order to know what we want to change, what we want. So freely write down the thoughts that you're keeping on a daily basis. And then take a moment and put a mirror to that and tell me if your life is reflecting exactly what your thoughts are. Because in order to change the mirror reflection of your life, we must start with changing the thoughts that we keep. Our thoughts create our feelings create our actions, and our actions create our characteristics and our behavior, the energy that we carry around, the energy that we show up to the world in. So let's go back to the genesis. Let's go back to the genesis of where it begins, and that is with our thinking. Like, let's shift our thoughts and thinking more mindful thoughts. Okay, so think about what it is that you want to change right now. What transition are you going through that you're struggling with? Do you want more money? Do you want a relationship? Do you want greater health? Right? First, write down the negative story that you're telling yourself. Oh, I'll never be rich. I'll never have enough money. I'll never be thin enough. I'll never be healthy. I'll never get a new job. Right? So write down that negative story. Write them all. Right? Don't limit them, because we have to be aware of the thoughts that we're telling ourselves in order to shift and create new perceptions and create a new reality. So write all those thoughts down. And then I want you to think for a moment where you may have first learned that thought. Right? Does that thought seem reminiscent of anyone else in your past, in your childhood, that may have said that same thought? Again, we're not judging, we're not criticizing. This is awareness. And maybe you heard those thoughts from your mother, your father, that there's never enough money, right? That we're always going to work at the same job, that life doesn't give us what we want. Life gives us just random things, whatever. What is the story that you grew up with? Write that story down. Because often those are the stories that keep us stuck and keep us in a repetition cycle of experiencing the same things over and over and over again, because we haven't changed the thought and we haven't changed the belief system associated with it. So write down the belief system and pinpoint where it came from, just so that you're aware. And now I want you to think about what it is that you want. What do you really, really want? And start by writing it as an I am affirmative statement, such as, I am now working in a job that gives me fulfillment and joy. I am now a top real estate broker. I am now a prolific teacher and speaker. Whatever it is that you want, write it. Write it affirmatively. And then every day, write that statement down in your journal 10 times, 15 times, 20 times. Write it out. Again, pen to paper, get those thoughts down, because we need to change that false belief that's going around. That's telling us that we can't do something, that we're good enough, not good enough, it's too late. Our lives are going to flow in whatever voice we listen to. So are you going to listen to your inner villain, or are you going to listen to your higher self, your greater consciousness? So write them down every day. And then you're going to meditate on those phrases, right? Affirmations or mantras, however you want to use the word. And again, I like to place my hands on my heart, and I close my eyes, and I repeat what I want and what I'm affirming for myself over and over and over again in my mind's eye. Right? That's a simple meditation. Just close your eyes and repeat what it is that you want, that you have, that you're affirming in this moment as if you have it. And then I want you to visualize it. Or you can create a vision board, or just visualize it right here in your third eye, in your mind's eye. And with your heart here, your hands on your heart, your awareness here, think of that thought. Become that thought. And when you notice during the day, right before you go to bed, if you notice that negative thought come in, right, you tell that negative thought the truth, that you are enough, that you are what you want to be, right? Don't allow the negative voice, the inner villain, to control your life, because it's listening to the inner villain that keeps us stuck, that keeps us having difficulty going through challenges and transitions. But we can create a new story, and we can create a new version of ourselves, but we have to first believe in it. We have to first write it. We have to first think it. So think positive thoughts. Train your mind to think positive thoughts. Did you know that every day we have around 50 to 80,000 thoughts a day? And that 70 to 80% of them are the same thoughts we had yesterday, right? So how meaningful is that, right? And a lot of those thoughts are negative thoughts. So control your mind. Your mind doesn't have to control you. Control your mind to think what it is that you want it to think, right? Again, remember, where attention goes, energy grows. So grow your intention and your energy into what it is that you want, right? Whether you say that you can, or think that you can, or that you can't, you're right. So tell yourself what it is that you want to believe and you want to create. This will help you go through life's challenges and transitions with greater grace and greater self love. You deserve it. Thank you for listening.